Now let's come up. Let's now next we will proceed with the Git repositories. So here are the list of Git repositories that are related to LMS. Here some of the important repositories such as Framework 1.19, which is the base code like framework code of YAI. We are using 1.19 version. Next comes the LMS. LMS is for all the web services uh, which are required in LMS. All the web service codes are written in LMS repo, and LMS debug is a front end application where a customer sorry user will agent will log in and contact the customer and take the disposition and all. So it is the LMS debug part. And notification v2, like it is written in Node.js. So suppose we want to push notification to the user's front end, then we will use the notification v2 here. And LMS cipher is for just for encrypting the strings or anything, like suppose whatever the value we sensitive information we store in the configuration will be encrypted using the LMS cipher. And for cloning, we can make use of the we can make use of this URL for cloning any application. We can directly log in with the given Git URL and the credentials given by care. And basically default we will have a master branch. This will be keep updated whenever the release will go live to production. So all the master branch will get updated. Then whatever the new development comes, we will take a new branch from the master branch itself with the task exact task name. So these are the few branches according to the task names that we have given. And for UAT, we have a for QC, we have a branches like QC demo. This is for demo to give the demo to the client. And when it comes to release, we have a certain release branches. And this is for the UAT. It is the UAT branches. So to take the pull, we can we can either make use of command prompt, or for easier purposes, we can use source tree. Using source tree, just we can pull or push the codes, whatever we have. I guess that's it regarding the repositories. Now let's move on to campaign and report sections together. So in campaign, certain campaigns can be scheduled. For example, in leads, as I said, in lead churning. So here there is a section called query builder report. So here there will be a workflow. And we can click on here churn data. Here we can go to campaigns, campaign configuration. We can select any campaign over here. Assign to random users, we can select, and once now on every day from October 1st to October 30, every day, every night in the morning 1:30, this cron will get executed, where it will pick all the uh, it will pick all the leads appearing from this query to the random views. So how it works? So here it is the use of campaign scheduling, and under the reports there will be a lots of like for development purpose we are storing the exception logs and fresh lead reports, where user can super admin can able to um, select this fresh leads from certain time ranges and invalid leads, all the leads, like it is basically for the report section. Now moving on to the okay, now it is about the uh, reports and campaigns. Okay, so now let's talk about the build preparation. So once any task is completed, we will send it to the we will send an UAT build to deploy it on UAT. So for that, you have we have a dedicated branch called UAT. Like it might be any UAT, UAT1, UAT2, or UAT3. So any task which is completed, we will merge that branch to UAT branch, and then we will send a build to build for the client to deploy. Suppose I will give you just example build format how it is been done. So there will be a plan of action. In the plan of action, we will say what are all the steps they need to follow on the plan of action. And here will be some database scripts. If there are any database scripts that need to be executed for particular task, then those scripts along with their rollback script will be given. And then one ss script .ss script will be given, shell script, where it will take a pull of the git repo. Okay, this is for the UAT POA. Now for production POA, what we will do is we have a QC server access. On QC server, what we will do is first of all, for release branch, the client will give us a list of tickets which need to be deployed on production according to their requirements. What we will do is we will merge all those branch to a release branch, and in that release branch we will make all the required changes, like we'll set environment as production, and all the unwanted files such as SQL scripts and all will be removed. Okay, and then what we will do is we will make a zip file on our LMS QC server. Okay, and once we make a zip file, then we will make the same POA how we have given made it for the UAT deployment. There in the plan of action we will give like taking a backup of the current production folder, and copying the zip from QC file, QC server to production server. Once those zip files are copied to production server, it will be unzipped, and all the database credentials will from the previous backed up files will be moved to the new folder. Okay, and whatever the SQL scripts we have to execute, it will be executed on the database. Once all these steps are completed, then it will start a basic sanity, which will be done by BA on production. Once the testing everything is completed, BA will give the sign off on the production deployment. So this is about the UAT and production deployment. So now let's move on to the settings module. In settings, here it is called a configuration cap limit, where admin will set a okay, let me do one test. I will give date as tomorrow, October 2nd. From date, I will give it as at around 8 p.m. to 11:55 p.m. I will add it. Okay. what this will do is, on I mean second of October, that is tomorrow, from night 8 p.m. to night 11:50 p.m. it is a global cap limit will get activated. What is global cap limit? Global cap limit is like, as I said, I had mentioned about the cap limits. So whenever the system auto allocate a lead to a particular caller, his cap limit will keep reducing by one. Suppose if there is a 15 leads, 15 is a cap limit. After allocation of 15 leads, his cap limit will become zero and no more leads will get allocated. If a global cap limit is on, what will happen is the cap limit won't get reduced whenever the system automatically allocates a lead to a caller. So n number of leads will keep on get allocated to the caller. So that is the benefit of the global cap limit. And in lead column mapping, so as I said, these are the buckets, and it is and few are the reporting sections. In under lead section, whatever the buckets you see, there are a certain number of columns over here. Okay, all these columns are dynamic. This is not hard coded columns. These are the dynamic columns. These column values will be set in the lead column mapping, under lead column mapping. So you have to basically, whatever the assigned leads, let's take this for example. So if I want to add a language ID also to the report, and if I want to remove one emergency contact number, I'll do this and I will save the settings. If I remove, see, language ID will start coming on the reports. Suppose if I remove the revisit count as well, revisit count has been removed from the report. So it is, everything is dynamic. Suppose it is a set of columns now. Okay, so now I want some more columns from here. Then what can I do is, I will select a table. For example, let's take it as a lead. Okay, now I will take as first visited on column, first visit date. Date format I will give as this. I can add the new column. Okay, now if you go here, you will get a new column option, first visit date. You can select it and save it. Now on fresh date report, you will be able to see the first column, first revisit date, first visit date. So it is the use of lead column mapping. So you can a list also will be appeared on in the below. You can either inactivate it or edit it. And under rule grid permission, so certain permission needs to be given role wise. So for example, I will open the caller settings here. Suppose I want to allow him for the grid setting. So here if I enable a grid setting, he can enable a certain number of columns. He can customize the columns by himself. Like for example, I give this rights to the caller. Then a caller can customize all his um, he can prioritize whatever the column he want to see, whatever the column he doesn't want to see. So this will not affect any other users. So if for example caller Ram does this, then it will effective only to caller Ram. No other caller will get affected by this. Okay, so it is that, right? If I make it no, then those settings will not be visible to the caller. It is same way in the export also. Suppose if we want to export a report here, this is the export setting.
So here only 6 columns are only selected. So in the report as well, only 6 column will be reflected. So it is the export setting option, whether it has to be given to the caller or not. It is used for that. It is export button. So with the export button, he will be able to export the report. So it is whether this need to be given to the caller or not. An email mask and mobile mask. If it is email mask, if email mask is yes, then all the email IDs will be get masked for him for that caller. If I give mobile mask as yes, and then mobile number will get masked. Only last 4 digit or first digits and last 3 digits will be visible. So it is about the role-based masking and switch manual allocation. Suppose I want to turn off the auto allocation, then I will just it is based on the health and travel product. I will just click here manual allocation as off on, and then I will save it. Then system will not automatically allocate the lead to the caller. So I can give you a start time and end time. It is started. It will be started at 12:25 in the morning, and it will end by 11:55 in the at the night So if I on it in that period, no leads will get allocated to the callers. I mean, system won't automatically allocate these leads to the caller. So admin will have to do it manually, or team leader will have to do it manually. And it is about the allocation order, LIFO and FIFO. For example, a lead, there are lots of leads in the fresh lead bucket. Then it is used to set, for example, last in first out, or it is first in first out. So it is a LIFO FIFO algorithm which we are using. If I give last LIFO, then last whatever the latest inserted will be allocated first. If I give FIFO, whatever the first lead comes to the system will get allocated to the caller. It is about the, and this is the tracker stage information. So in LMS, we will have a certain number of ranks called contact not made, contact made, product presentation done, follow up for payment, payment done, and policy issues. So under a rank, we will map a certain number of lead statuses. All the lead statuses will be mapped as or dispositions will be mapped here. Okay, these are the main ranks, and under the main ranks, we will map a certain dispositions. That is called tracker stages. Okay, it is a called cadence report here. What and all the okay cadence is like suppose a certain leads which needs to be put with LMS will push to the cadence. All those leads, whatever the leads needs to be pushed to cadence will be its setting will be done here. So here web is there. All these settings, whatever the fields we need to be pushed, all those settings will be there here. Whether you need to, if super admin thinks I want for now, I want to turn off sending leads to cadence, then admin can just disable here. It is the dialer settings. Basically in dialer, we have two main dialers. One is Seasontrix, one is Cube dialer. And we can, if super admin wants to register a new dialer, he can just dialer here and enable the status. And in dialer, for example, if a dialer is Seasontrix is created, it will have its own cluster, like host name will be there. All the host name configuration will be done under dialer clusters. In dialer group, once the cluster is created, we will create a certain number of groups. Under the groups, a caller will be created. A caller will be mapped. Okay. So it is a dialer API. It is used like to fetch the dialer API logs. It is basically all the logs, whatever there will be stored here. That's it about the dialer. It is a general setting like a business hour from start date, end date, everything will be done here over here. So it is about the settings module.
Okay. So now let's understand the flow diagram of LMS. So in LMS, LMS is nothing but a lead management system wherein we will get a leads from a certain sources like it might be a Google, it might be a third parties, or it might be receiving from our customer portal. So once the lead received by the customer portals will be sent to the Cordis. Cordis will have a wrapper which will call LMS API. LMS API, LMS lead creation API will be basically of two. One is REST API and second one is the SOAP API. So all those leads via API will be created on the LMS DB. Okay. So on LMS, on the when it comes to user hand, we will have a certain roles like super admin, admin, floor manager, MIS executive, managers, team leaders, callers, and inbound callers. So all these users will be logging into the LMS application. Okay. Once the lead received by LMS will be allocated to the callers via auto allocation, or either team leader or super admin or flow manager can manually allocate to the respective callers. So all the lead allocation will happen based on the priorities. Like in the user model, we have already explained what and all the priorities it is. Like for example, source, product, and lead stages, and the languages. Okay. Once the leads gets allocated to the caller, then the caller will start making the process on those leads. Suppose these are the buckets in the lead management system. So it will check whether if the lead is assigned to anyone. If it is assigned, then it will be going to the assigned lead bucket. If it is not assigned, then it will go to the fresh lead bucket. Suppose the same lead again comes to the system, then that will be treated as revisit or duplicate, which will be going to the all duplicates or duplicate today. And once 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 the caller opens from or any assigned lead or any from any leads opens the disposition page and he takes the disposition on it, then it will go to the dispose lead bucket. And from disposition page we have various options like we can send the payment link, and it is a certain secondary disposition, such as he can set the follow up, he can give the product presentation, or he can take any other dispositions or payment done. Okay. So once the payment so he can take any certain number of SMSs in on disposition page, or he can take or any like payment we can send the payment link on disposition page, and in same way we can generate the quotation for the user, so that he can or he can we can calculate the monthly premium and send it to the customer, or we can send any email like a prospect or brochures, we can send it via email or SMS. So here we will check like if the payment is done, then it will go to the payment done bucket. Once the payment is done, then it will be verified at the back end, and policies will be issued. And if the payment is not done, it will remain in the disposed leads. Suppose in disposition page, a user marks the lead as a non-workable, then it will go to the non-workable bucket. On or any in disposition page, caller marks the lead as start, then it will go to the start lead bucket. So here is a churning process. Suppose if any leads gets churned, then it will directly get assigned to go to the churn lead bucket. So it is the basic flow of LMS. Okay. So in the last demo, we had discussed about the normal page disposition, but today we will discuss how it will be done using the dialer. So as a normal caller, for caller, we have to do the dialer setup in the dialer configuration in the setup, we have shown in the previous in user module section. So once the dialer setup is done, user will get this view one call to connect button in the disposition page. On click of that, so on click of that, a call will get connected uh, to the customer. So once the call gets connected, we can do the disposition. Rest of the functionality will be the same, like how we have discussed in the disposition module. Here, one more option will be there, caller will be able to select. Caller will have to click on call, so that he can connect with the customer, and then he can save the disposition. Suppose if the caller tries to dispose the lead without connecting the call, then he will get a error like we cannot dispose the lead without calling on it. One thing. So it is about the disposition with the um, calling module. In the next module, we will discuss about the auto dialer. Now let's see about the dispositions. As I said about the tracker stages in the settings module. So these are the uh, ranks. Suppose I will explain how it changes according to the disposition. So I said before, as I said before, if a customer gets connected, we will select it as connected. If the customer is not connected, we can give the reason and mark it as not connected. Suppose now let's go on to connected. The disposition page, we will have two sections, like it is a plan details. If whatever the plan he has selected will come under the plan details, and it is a customer details. Here caller can have add any alternate number if it is exist. Okay, and suppose call gets connected. Now he said he says not interested, then we can mark it as not interested and take this position, or any bot from other partner. Any language barrier, in the sense, if a agent knows only Hindi and the customer wants to speak in Kannada, then it is a language barrier. So customer says, okay, I'm not available right now, so you can call back later. That is short hanger. Or call back for presentation, you can say that also. DNC means it is like do not call, like do not call me after this. So suppose even we will say to a call center guy, if a call someone like, no, I'm not interested, please don't call me. That is DNC. If we get wrong number, if he says, okay, suppose here the name says uh, XYZ, but on receiving side he says, no, it is not XYZ, so we will mark it as wrong number. So it is it is called secondary disposition. So it is a primary disposition, connected not connected, it is a secondary disposition. Suppose let's say we have selected a short hanger, so we will give here the description. It is called ternary dispositions, where we will take next when he says no short hanger, so we will say, okay, we will select any date, time, and we will dispose it.
Once it gets disposed, its rank gets changed to contact made. Now suppose again he contacted, he has completed the product presentation. It is I will give a description and I will give a next date for follow up for the payment. I will send it. Now it will change the rank to product presentation done. So that is the main scenario of disposition. Once it is done, here it is, we can caller can see all the histories, like how many times he has taken the disposition. All the histories will be visible, here. Now, okay, making adding a make, he can make his favorite, that is star. He can make it here, like how I explained in the previous modules. Making a lead as favorite, that is start leads, so we can mark it here. Suppose I was explaining about payment link, so in the leads module I said about the payment link, I will tell about tell in the disposition. So here, suppose customer is agreed to pay or buy a policy, so what we will do here is, okay, we will give a mobile number, name as, we will give a payment 7, select the reason single payment, and we will set the premium amount, suppose any. Now we will fetch a payment link from CP. Once we get the payment link, we have an option, either we can send it to mobile or we can send it to email, or we can send it to both email and mobile. So we need to select it, and we will send this payment link to the customer. A customer will receive it, his customer will receive the payment link on his mail or on his mobile number, and from there customer can make the payment. It is nothing but a get code. Suppose caller will say, for this many years you have to pay, this is the premium. Those premium will be calculated over get code. Under services, we can send any brochures. For example, customer says, okay, I need to get the brochure of this or anything, so here he will send a name and to whom the brochure need to be sent. So here he will give the email, he will select any plan on which customer is interested, and brochure will be sent. It is nothing but a revisit, how many times the revisit has taken place on this link. So it is for revisit. So that's it about the disposition. Now we will begin with the master model, where in master model superadmin can add either products and plans. Products like for example, superadmin want to add a new product, he can add it from the product section. He can also edit an existing product, and when under product there will be multiple plans. Those plans will be can also be added from master section. He can choose a product, and he can give the plan name, and he can create that plan. He can either inactive whenever the plan is not exist. And lead stage is like, suppose a customer makes a journey on customer portal, like from entering his mobile number to getting making a payment. All those journey will be called as a stage. Okay, those stages will be mapped under a particular plan. Okay, and that is about the lead stage. And now coming to the lead status. Suppose there are the two primary lead statuses, like basically connected and non-connected. When connected, not connected, when an agent makes call to the customer, suppose if a customer is not reachable, then he will take the state disposition as a primary disposition as not connected. If for example, if got connected and customer disconnects it, or he will answer it or any, then he will takes the disposition as connected, and there are certain number of lead statuses, like for example we can say uh, 34 for fresh leads or payment corrected, callback for presentation. Although certain number of lead status are there, which will be defined under master by the super admin. And junk number is like it is to identify for, suppose as a customer, even everyone will give a junk number, like in the quotation box they will give like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So it is to define the pattern for the junk number. So here we have defined like if any number starts with 1 2 3 or 4, we are considering it as a junk number. That is also stored in uh, masters. So that is this is the type of customers, like every customer will say like I'm not interested, or everybody will say okay, give me a month of time, or give me a month, I will please call me tomorrow, or give me a week of time. So those type of master are defined in here. So different type of policy are will be defined on policy type master. It is a state master. Here all the states are will be defined here. So we can either inactivate, add a new state. With the state, user can map a city. Suppose in Karnataka we have a city called Bengaluru. So all this city will be mapped by the super admin over here. It is a language master. So here in Karnataka, people will speak Kannada, and in Gujarat people will speak Gujarati. All the languages will be mapped here, and in state language master, we will map a language to the state. Uh, Suppose here we can see like in Gujarat we speak Gujarati, and Karnataka we will speak Kannada. All those state language masters will be added here. It is called restrictions. Like suppose in call centers we can face like we will suppose I am from Karnataka and I will enter my number in quotation box, and someone will call me speaking with Hindi, which I don't understand. So suppose you want to make make this Kannada as strict, and if you mark here Kannada as a strict language, this leads with the which are from state Karnataka, I mean Karnataka, will only get allocated to the caller who knows Kannada. So it is for the restrictions. Now coming to the email and SMS template. Uh, it is nothing but a template. For example, if customer wants to send if a caller wants to send a certain emails to the customer, it will be designed over here. It is a master section for that. So every lead status we will define one template for it. So whenever a caller takes a disposition on that, then the particular SMS or email will be sent to the customer's registered mobile number and email. So it is nothing but a competitor companies, like Care will have a competitor companies like Star Health Insurance, Aditya Birla, HDFC, and so and so. And it is a section of call centers, like Care Health Insurance will have a call center Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, or Noida, or in all the call center details will be stored over here. So that's it about the master module. So now we will go for the database section. So we have a certain 338 tables on LMS, where few of the tables are very important. For example, it is leads. So if I select the lead table, so all the leads coming into the system will be stored over on the lead table. So it is a very important, one of the important table, that is leads. And in a such a way, one lead action and allocated leads, fresh lead auto allocation. All these are the one of the important tables which are related to leads. Okay, once the I said about the archive, once the lead get archived, it will go to lead archive table. And few other tables like master tables. So we have app master, call center masters, app type master, campaign masters, all these master, dialer master. Then comes the product master, language master, state master. All these are the master tables which doesn't get that frequently, doesn't get changed. So these are the most few important table. Then comes the user table, where all the user informations are stored on the database. So if this is about the database, then now let's move on to code base. For coding, we use YI 1.1 version, and when it comes to LMS, we have two important repos, that is LMS and LMS debug, where LMS is nothing but all the web services, I mean APIs are written on LMS repos. For example, create lead APIs, or I mean like whatever related to web service or APIs are written on LMS repo, and the front end part is written on LMS debug repo. So under protected, we have like it is a MVC framework, YA framework. We have views, models, controllers, or everything. And let's uh, speak about models. We have few important models such as lead archive, and few master models. Everything will be here. So basically user, lead archive, and few mapping master models are very important on LMS. All the cron jobs, whatever needs to be written, are written under commands and cron job commands. These are the set of cron jobs which will be uh, executed at a given times. Under component, these are used like for example, send SMS, send mail. Few frequent codes which needs to be accessed from all the controllers, like it is a common codes, we can say. Those things are written separately as components from where we can call which we can be called from all the uh, controllers. Under components, we have controller.php, which is the core controller for all the which is a core controller on LMS application. Now let's move to the lead module. Under lead module, we will have a certain number of lead buckets such as assign lead, fresh lead, dispose lead, all revisit, etc. In assign lead, we will display those leads. So before beginning with assign lead, I will come with the fresh leads. So in the fresh leads, we will display all the leads which are there in the system but not allocated to any caller. That is fresh. It is not allocated to any caller. Those are called fresh leads. And in the assign leads, we will display those leads which are in the system and allocated to a caller, but caller have not made any disposition on it. So these leads are called the assign leads. In the under the dispose bucket, we will display those leads. Okay, we will display those leads which gets disposed by any caller. So these are called the disposed lead. And yeah, in all the reports, super admin will have a set of filters with which he can obtain a desired result. And in all revisit, as I said previously, if there are any duplicate comes to the system, those will be displayed under the all revisits. And it is a churn lead. For example, there is a lead which are allocated to a caller who doesn't know Kannada, but customer desire to speak in only in Kannada, but not in Hindi or English. In such that is, I'm just giving an example. This is not a complete scenario of churn lead. In that case, what system will do, like system will churn those leads automatically. I mean, churning is like it is you can call it as like a complete deletion. Then we will system will automatically allocate it back to a particular caller who has a language mapped Kannada. So it is just a one example. So there are lots of other examples for churning as well. All leads, like including all those lead all like assign leads, all the leads, like revisit, including revisits and fresh leads, all the leads will be displayed here. Payment done, like for example, a customer has made a payment, so those leads will come under payment done. And policy issued, like customer has done the payment and also policy got issued to him, so those will be displayed under policy issued. Non-workable lead, like has caller has a way like he can mark certain lead as it won't work, like in a such matter. So he can mark it as non-workable. He will give the reason, and it will automatically come to non-workable section. And the star leads, as I said before, if a caller thinks like, okay, this lead is very important to me, he will feel, caller feel like, okay, this person will have a possibility of buying the policy, then he will make that uh, customer he will mark their customer as stars, and those star lead will be displayed over here. It is the and let me finish with the caller part. In the caller part also, he will see only his leads, not super, whereas super admin will see all the leads. And caller doesn't have a rights to see the fresh leads, because only TL or any other above role users has access to see the fresh leads. Rest of all the functionalities will be the same, but only thing is like a caller will only see all the leads allocated to him. I mean under him. Okay. And one more thing I forgot to mention here. Super admin will have an option, like he can select number of leads, and he has an rights to transfer these leads to any other caller. Either it can be in assign lead or in the fresh leads. And transfer rights are given to team leader only. I mean, transfer from fresh lead and assign leads are given only to the super admin and the floor manager and the team leader. Okay. So in under leads, there comes a section called create lead. Suppose caller want to create an create, for example, he will customer will give a reference, so and so are there, he is also interested. Then he can give a name, mobile, and select the plan and save it here. He will create it. It will get automatically allocated to the caller who is creating the lead. If SuperAdmin will create a particular lead, it will automatically go to the fresh leads. But if uh, caller creates a lead, then it will automatically go to the that caller's bucket. Okay, and it is section called bulk import. So if we have a set of leads in an Excel format, suppose say it is more than 10,000 or 20,000 data, they can choose a file here, select the category which they want, new business or cross sell. So with that, okay, it should be a template which are designed by the system, and they can download the template from here, fill all the lead information, and they can upload it here. It will come like if it is no duplicates, or if it is a parent lead, it will automatically come to the system. And the leads, and it is called junk leads. All the junk lead information will be stored here. It is a user login log, and it is like it is to fetch the login information of the users. That's all, nothing else. Uh, any IP address, particular IP address, they can fetch it from here. These are the it will give a set of payment links sent by the uh, caller to the customer. So about the payment links, I will explain it more on the disposition model. So and it is about lead. If we give a number and click on the flow, it will give all the flows, like when the lead has been when the lead came to the system, and when it got allocated, and what all the actions have been taken, how many times the revisit has occurred in the lead. All those information will be stored on the lead flow. Just give me I will copy this. So you can see like all the information, all the information about the lead. It will be displayed here. Close archive. Suppose suppose SuperAdmin wants to close a lead, close a particular lead. So usually we will archive the leads after 90 days of inactivity. And okay, suppose they want to close any particular lead prior to that, so it will be done from here. SuperAdmin can give a mobile number, and they can close it from here. Assign pending lead is a section which is like for example, today is a caller on leave, and he has certain follow-ups to take. Then all the leads can be transferred from one caller to another. These are the list of D&D. Like for example, a customer marks himself as do not disturb. Then those leads will be displayed over here. And that's it about the leads model. On next step, we will come to the user section. Under user, we will have a certain number of roles. For example, admin, manager, caller, team leader, all the roles will be defined here. And in next, in under user, we can create any new users, like by giving their first name, last name, password. All this information we will give. We will, if it is a caller, we will select a call center. After, and here it is used for the dialer configuration. Like with this configuration, caller will able to make a call to the customer. Here we will it is a user listing, and from where super admin can be able to edit or inactive any users. If a caller, there will be an option like to setting the allocation parameter in the sense, for example, we will receive LMS will receive LMS system will receive a lead from a certain number of sources. For example, web, REST, or Google, or any other sources, and we will map few sources to the particular caller. So here a caller called Ram has a source web and REST. So all so Ram will receive only those leads which are coming from either source web or from the source REST. So here we have given the percentage. Suppose his cap limit is 15, then hmm, out of 15, 50% of the leads from web will be added to him, and out of 15, another 50% will be from the REST. And under products, we will set up certain number of plans for him, like uh, here you can see that only the plans like secure and care will be allocated to him, and if comes from the care freedom or care senior, those plans won't be applicable for the caller Ram. And it is a stage. Suppose care has, as I said before in the master module, uh, care has a certain number of lead stages. All the stages will be mapped under this caller. And in same when it comes to the languages, so suppose a caller who can speak Hindi, English, Kannada, Telugu, and Tamil, then all those languages will be mapped here. And in user section, super admin will be able to set the cap limit. Cap limit is like if we give the cap limit as 15, then only 15 leads will be allocated. Like there are two types of allocation. One is auto allocation and one is manual allocation. Auto allocation is like whenever a lead comes to the system will search automatically, will search for a matching caller, and system will automatically allocate that lead to the matching caller. That is called auto allocation. And manual allocation is like team leader or super admin will pick one caller and allocate the lead manually to that caller. That is called manual allocation. Cap limit will applicable only for the auto allocation. Suppose we set your caller's cap limit as 10. Only 10 leads will get auto allocated to that caller, not more than 10. So that is called cap limit. And then under user section, super admin can import any caller. He can put it in the Excel sheet and he can import. It comes the teams. Every caller will allocate under a team. He can create a team, and super admin can map a team here. One team lead will be team lead also will be there. Every caller will be under that team lead, and it is a target setup. So suppose so team lead or any admin will set a target for a caller. Suppose we have here a target for Ram. He need to do the business of 1,50,000 in the month of April. That is the target setup. So here whatever the target need to give to the caller will be done from here. Okay, it is not yet in production under the development. Okay, that's it when it comes to the user model.
So now let's begin with the dashboard. In SuperAdmin dashboard, we will display all the statistics related to all the callers. Like for example, target. Here it is a target achieved, say, or sold in terms of rupees, and how many leads are closed today, and number of logged in users, and few unallocated fresh leads. And here it is a calendar which will be displayed all the follow-ups set for a particular date, and in which how many number of the follow-ups are attended and how many number of the follow-ups are pending. All those information date wise will be displayed here. And here it is a lead statistics where we will display all the statistics related to, for example, how many numbers are allocated today, how many numbers are allocated via auto allocation or manual allocation or reference allocation, or how many junk lead we have received. All those information will be displayed here to the super admin. And it is a caller waiting queue. Caller waiting queue, like suppose the caller disposes a lead, and um, yeah, so caller disposes the lead, and system doesn't have any other leads to allocate to the to that caller. So then that particular caller will come under waiting queue until system allocates a new lead to him. Okay, and now we will check the dashboard of a normal caller. So in super admin, we will display all the statistics or statistics of all the callers, but in here we will display only the statistics related to the particular caller. So as I said before, this is the calendar where all the follow-ups, like total follow-up one have been taken, like we can see here. Remaining is one. So pending is one out of one. It is showing pending is one out of one follow-up. And here a quick link has been is also given. So from here, caller can dispose all the pending follow-ups. And in dashboard for caller, we have given something called activity planner. In activity planner, we display certain number of cards where we will display assign leads, revisit leads, inactive leads, and star leads. In assign leads, all the fresh leads which are getting allocated to him are displayed. And in revisit leads, suppose a lead receives a revisit comes, like revisit will be like, for example, one lead is there. We can take 93, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 6, 8 as a parent lead. Suppose another lead comes to the system with the same number and the same product, then that will be treated as a revisit. And inactive lead, like for example, if a lead is inactive from past 3 to or 4 days, it will come under inactive leads. That means any no action are taken on that leads. Okay, and in star lead, like suppose the caller will feel like, okay, this customer will buy a policy, or he will like, okay, this customer is interested, then caller will make that lead as a mark that lead as start. So this star lead card will be displayed, yes, for the quick access. And in the activity plan, we have one more section called follow up. Here follow up section will be displayed like in cards, whatever the upcoming follow up. This caller has a follow up at to be taken at 1 p.m. 8 o'clock 1 p.m. whatever. And suppose if a caller misses, caller will not take that follow up at 8 p.m. Then it will come in a missed follow up. Okay, and we have one more dashboard which will be visible only to the team leader. Suppose, okay, this is the team leader dashboard where all the statistics related to his team members, like for example, one team leader will have a 10 callers. So all those data will be displayed here. We will have a certain filters so that we can apply those filters and data will get generated. If there are any data, this count will get will be shown. Okay, that's it regarding the dashboard. All the three dashboards we have in the system.
Here are a list of APIs used in LMS by third-party applications. We have Cordis. So for Cordis, we use Create Lead SOAP. Cordis makes use of LMS's API to create lead, but this is no longer used as per CARE suggestion. We have policy PDF URL. So LMS makes use of Cordis's API to get the policy PDF. Next, we have Realm. Realm uses create lead REST. Here, Realm makes use of LMS's API to create the lead. Next, we have Smartech and Credence. So here we have Webhook API. So Credence makes use of LMS's API, but this is no longer used as per CARE suggestion. We have Smartech push log. Again, Credence makes use of LMS's API, but this also is not in use as per CARE suggestion. We have Smartech read SFTP API. Credence makes use of LMS's API, but even this is also not in use as per CARE suggestion. Next, we have push lead. Here, LMS makes use of Credence's API to push the lead to them. Next, FA. So FA makes use of reverse disposition API. So FA makes use of LMS's API to send us the updated lead statuses of the leads disposed at their end, and accordingly we will be updating the leads in our end also. We have push lead API. So LMS makes use of FA's API to push the lead to them. Next, we have Whiskits. Similar to FA, we have reverse disposition. Here again, Whiskits makes use of LMS's API to send us the updated status of the leads disposed at their end, and we will be updating the same in our end also. Similarly, we have push lead API. Here, LMS makes use of Whiskits API to push the lead to them. Next, we have CP Analytics and CP APIs. So here, we have a retarget lead. Here, Analytics makes use of LMS's API. We have update cookies. Again, Analytics makes use of LMS's API. For journaling, LMS gets the URL from CP end with details regarding the plan, product, mobile number, etc. And then we have CMS. Here we make use of create offline payment link API. LMS makes use of CMS's API to generate a payment link, which will be sent to the customer via SMS or email. And then there is payment confirmation API. Here CMS makes use of LMS's API to check the state of the lead, whether it is in payment done or not. And then we have Propero. In Propero, we make use of tag policy API. Here LMS makes use of Propero's API to tag a particular policy to a lead. And then we have Sysentrix. We use Call Connect API. Here Sysentrix makes use of LMS's API to connect the call, initiate connect call. We have state change API. Here Sysentrix uses LMS's API. We have update dialer details API. Again, here Sysentrix makes use of LMS's API. We have bulk upload API. LMS uses Sysentrix API here to upload leads in bulk. We have Sysentrix app handler API. LMS makes use of Sysentrix API here. We have call to connect. Here LMS uses Sysentrix API to initiate the call connect functionality. There is call disconnect. LMS uses Sysentrix API to initiate a disconnect call. There is customer disconnect API. LMS makes use of Sysentrix API to initiate this customer disconnect functionality. And then there is dialer disposition API. Here, LMS makes use of Sysentrix API to upload the status of the lead. And then we have a voice play API. Here, LMS uses Sysentrix API to play the recorded conversation. We have a login token API. Here, LMS uses Sysentrix API to authenticate login. And then we have a login API. Again, LMS uses Sysentrix API to login. And then we have Cube. In Cube, we use a call connect API. Here, LMS uses Cube's API to connect the call. We have call disconnect API. Here, LMS makes use of Cube's API to disconnect the call. And then Abacus. In Abacus, we use get quote URL API. LMS uses Abacus's URL to get the quotation for a particular plan product. We have token generation URL. Again, here LMS makes use of Abacus's API to generate a token. And then we have LDAP. In LDAP, use LDAP login API. This is used to have employees logged in via LDAP. LMS uses LDAP's URL for this. And then we have Gupshup. In Gupshup, we use SMS URL API. LMS uses Gupshup's API to send the SMS. We have OTP URL. Again, LMS uses Gupshup's URL to send the OTP. We have WhatsApp opt-in API. So here again, LMS uses Gupshup's URL to send the opt-in message. Similarly, for WhatsApp send message, we use Gupshup's API itself to send the WhatsApp message. Then there is Falconide. In Falconide, we use SendMail API. Here, LMS uses Falconide's API itself to send the mail. In All-in-Call, we use WhatsApp notification. Here, All-in-Call makes use of LMS's API. And then there is authentication API, where LMS uses All-in-Call's API to get authenticated. We have console login API, where LMS uses All-in-Call's URL to log in. And then we have chat history pull API. Here, LMS makes use of All-in-Call's API to get WhatsApp chat history. And then there is a call archive API. Here, LMS makes use of All-in-Call's API to get the archive chats.
Okay, in LMS, we have two types of login options. Either employees, caller or users can either log in as employee or as partner. In employees, the user will enter their user email ID and password, which will be sent to the care LDAP team, where it will be authorized and they will give the response to us. Based on that, they will log in into the LMS system. And in partner, they will log in using the LMS credentials. And now we will be discussing about the superadmin login, where superadmin will sign in, and superadmin will get the option, like either they can select the email or a mobile number to which the OTP has to be sent. This will be configured in LMS table. And once we have the OTP, user will get redirected to the home page, that is dashboard. So if we consider like any other users other than superadmin, we will set the OTP directly to their registered mobile number as well as to the email. For example, I will log in using a user called Ram. a OTP will directly send to the registered email and their mobile number. And in the same procedure, user will get redirected to the home page, that is dashboard.
Okay. So now let's understand the flow diagram of LMS. So in LMS, LMS is nothing but a lead management system wherein we will get a leads from a certain sources like it might be a Google, it might be a third parties, or it might be receiving from our customer portal. So once the lead received by the customer portals will be sent to the Cordis. Cordis will have a wrapper which will call LMS API. LMS lead creation API will be basically of two. One is REST API and second one is the SOAP API. So all those leads via API will be created on the LMS DB. Okay. So on LMS, when it comes to user hand, we will have a certain roles like super admin, floor manager, MIS executive, managers, team leaders, callers, and inbound callers. So all these users will be logging into the LMS application. Okay. Once the lead received by LMS will be allocated to the callers via auto allocation, or either team leader or super admin or flow manager can manually allocate to the respective callers. So all the lead allocation will happen based on the priorities. Like in the user model, we have already explained what and all the priorities it is, like for example, source, product, and lead stages, and the languages. Okay. Once the leads gets allocated to the caller, then the caller will start making the process on those leads. Suppose these are the buckets in the lead management system. So it will check whether if the lead is assigned to anyone. If it is assigned, then it will be going to the assigned lead bucket. If it is not assigned, then it will go to the fresh lead bucket. Suppose the same lead again comes to the system, then that will be treated as revisit or duplicate, which will be going to the all duplicates or duplicate today. And once once the caller opens from or any assigned lead or any leads opens the disposition page, and he takes the disposition on it, then it will go to the dispose lead bucket. And from disposition page, we have various options, like we can send the payment link, and it is a certain secondary disposition, such as he can set the follow-up, he can give the product presentation, or he can take any other dispositions or payment done. Okay. So once the payment, so he can take any certain number of SMSs in on disposition page, or he can take or any like payment. We can send the payment link on disposition page, and in same way we can generate the quotation for the user, so that he can we can calculate the monthly premium and send it to the customer, or we can send any email like a prospect or brochures. We can send it via email or SMS. So here we will check, like if the payment is done, then it will go to the payment done bucket. Once the payment is done, then it will be verified at the back end, and policies will be issued. And if the payment is not done, it will remain in the disposed leads. Suppose in disposition page, a user marks the lead as a non-workable, then it will go to the non-workable bucket. Or any in disposition page, caller marks the lead as start, then it will go to the start lead bucket. So here is a churning process. Suppose if any leads gets churned, then it will directly get assigned to go to the churn lead bucket. So it is the basic flow of LMS.